Welcome back to the RevAlmanac channel. I'm Andrew, and for the very first time on the show, we're going to turn our attention away from film and we're going to go into the world of television. Dating back all the way to 2015 when he first debuted on Netflix. I have been a really big fan of Charlie Cox's portrayal of Daredevil. He's a beloved Marvel character. And for the last 2 years, we've now seen Matt Murdock under the Disney Plus banner with 2 seasons of Born Again. I needed to invite someone in who lives and breathes in this environment. If you cut her, she would bleed Daredevil red. She's a writer, a poet, a creator, a thinker, a podcaster, a cosplayer. The woman can do it all. Let me welcome in Samantha Barker. Hi, Sam.
Hey.
I'm so excited for this.
I'm really excited. Can't wait to talk about Daredevil.
I feel like I know more about Daredevil just like following your Instagram because you are so passionate about this one particular pocket of the Marvel world. So this is really exciting for me.
Yeah, I remember when Daredevil premiered in like 2015. I was literally 15 years old in high school, and before then, I was big on Captain America. So once Daredevil came out, like Cap literally fell from number 1 on my list to number 2, and then Daredevil took the number 1 slot, and henceforth has always been my favorite Marvel hero. Love Daredevil. Big love.
He's way cooler than Captain America, if we're just being honest, right? Like, he's got more of an edge to him.
Yes. I was very much like attracted to like the darker side of Marvel. Yeah.
Well, we'll kind of like walk our way through Daredevil, which has seen a progression over the last 11 years to where we are at now. I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to jump into TV on the show because we've got Born Again this summer. We got Doomsday at the end of the year. Marvel's like kind of back. They're getting their mojo back. And I think Born Again has a big part of that in 2026. And so, yeah, we'll kind of like talk about the season. For people who are listening right now, if you haven't seen the show, I will warn you, there might be some spoilers in here. So I would recommend being aware of that before we get into it, because there are some big plot points we'll probably talk about while we're here. Sam, before we get into season 2, for people who might be discovering you for the first time, can you give people a little bit of a backstory just into the world of your fandom? You talked about being 15 and everything there. What eventually led you to being so drawn to this character? Is there like, could you pinpoint one thing that's like led you down the road of being this Daredevil diehard?
Well, I feel like to lead into that, I have to talk about before I got into Daredevil. So like my dad is a huge comic book fan. He was like, he grew up with comics, superheroes, big Marvel guy, DC guy. So everything that I'm into, I kind of have to owe to him. So one of my earliest memories is seeing the original Spider-Man trilogy with Sam Raimi's. So Spider-Man was really like my gateway drug into superheroes. I was obviously very young, but I remember that always like replaying in my childhood. And then obviously once Iron Man came out, it was like a done deal. That was basically like selling my soul to superheroes and Marvel specifically. But at that point, I guess when Daredevil came out, we had already been, I think it was like phase 2 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It was like a year after The Winter Soldier came out, which was the first Marvel property that like really blew me away. And I felt like I was seeing something new for the first time. But with Daredevil, I feel like I've thought about this so much before, but if I had to like sum it up, as I said before, I love that Daredevil just felt more real and more grounded. It felt like as I was maturing in my teen years, like the content or like the media that I was consuming also felt a little bit more mature. So Daredevil felt like an elevated way for me to experience superheroes, if that makes sense. So seeing like Matt Murdock, before he put on the red suit, just him as like the man in the mask and him just like really getting his like fist bloodied and just dealing with like villains that I wasn't used to seeing in a Marvel movie. It just felt very refreshing to me at the time when I was a wee teenager. So I don't know, it just felt more, it was just way more serious. And I love that it was, fully in New York City, Hell's Kitchen. So me being from Jersey, I'm very proud to be from Jersey, but I also grew up like loving New York City and like taking family day trips there, going frequently. So to be able to like relate to a superhero that, you know, his home base is Hell's Kitchen was just very it just hit home for me. So I guess that's why Daredevil was always kind of struck a different chord in me. It was also also feel like I was spoiled with like a 13 episode season.
Mm.
So obviously at this point I'm more used to like the 2 hour Marvel movies, so getting like a full like immersive Marvel experience was way more meaningful to me, and that's why Daredevil always stuck with me. And I remember it was like episode 4 of season 1. I think it was A World on Fire. That's when I was like, yeah, Matt Murdock. Matt Murdock is my man. So yeah, I guess I'd have to summon it like that.
Well, and there's such a tonal difference between that season 1 of Daredevil and everything that was happening in the world of Marvel cinematically at that point in time. I mean, it felt so much more grounded, grittier, more R-rated. I mean, there's that infamous hallway scene which people still talk about to this day,
Yeah.
just iconic. But I mean, yeah, there was this element of Daredevil season 1 that just felt like such a different energy to everything else we were getting in the superhero world. I mean, even significantly different than the Nolan trilogy, which itself was dark in its own right, but like this was taking it to another level, and it really
Yeah.
kind of set a new level of grittiness to the world, contrary to everything else out there.
Yeah. Felt more realistic,
Yes,
more
yes.
relatable, more like, yeah, that would happen in Hell's Kitchen.
Well,
Not a bunch of
props
aliens.
props to your dad for getting you into the Raimi trilogy. Like that's near and dear to me because I'm old enough at this point. Like I remember seeing all those films in the theater, and yeah, I'm a Sam
Yeah.
Raimi head for sure.
Love those. But I also, I mean, like he introduced me to like everything. Like I remember seeing like the early Fantastic Four movies, The Incredible Hulk, the one with Eric Bana, and then I obviously see the 2003, I think, Daredevil right behind you. That movie with Ben Affleck, like that also was like ingrained in my memory. So I feel like a lot of those movies are like the blueprint to what we have today. So yeah, my dad
Now,
got
I
me into
mean,
all that.
I'm sure you're into way more than just superheroes. Obviously, like you consume a lot of entertainment content out there. If you had to pick some other films that were outside of the superhero realm, what are some of those other movies that have really, from whether it's from a young age or as you got older, like what are some of your favorite go-to movies that you find yourself going back to time and time again?
The first one that's coming to mind is Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure. That movie,
Yes.
I love that movie. It's such a feel good movie. And watching it as like a young adult now compared to when I was a kid, I like kind of watch it in a different way. Like he really is just such a joyful human being. And like my favorite line is, "I'm a loner dotty, I'm a rebel." So sometimes I feel like that. Definitely Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure. Loved Coraline growing up. And another universe that I love is the Universal classic horror monsters. I didn't get into them until the pandemic. I was living with my parents at the time, so my dad obviously was into it before, but we decided to binge all the original classics. So we did like Frankenstein, Dracula, The Invisible Man, Creature from the Black Lagoon, like all of those. So I would say those three that are coming to mind like kind of shape me for what I'm into these days. I love the monsters. They're so cool. My favorite's Dracula.
I never would
Um,
have pegged you as a Pee Wee Herman fan. That's amazing.
love Pee Wee Herman. So I didn't watch the TV show. My knowledge is only the movie, but the movie is just so good. Like there's so many iconic scenes that I can't not mention it. So yeah.
I remember distinctly having a memory of being terrified of the snake scene because I was very young when I saw Big Adventure, and I just remember like being scared of snakes from that scene where he's rushing into
Yeah.
the shop or whatever. And Large Marge, I remember
Oh
vividly
my
being
gosh.
terrified of Large Marge. Yes,
Yeah.
great shout outs there. Coraline, just one of the best stop motion films in existence. Just unbelievable.
Yes. I was gonna say about Coraline. Just love that it's like a very. I remember like watching it with my friends when I was younger. A lot of them, half of us were scared, half of us were like intrigued. I was part of the half that was intrigued and just like I loved like the creepy stuff. I don't know, like especially the claymation, I think it adds like a bit more of like a charming element. So yeah, that's all.
Are you a horror fan as well?
Yes, I love horror.
Okay.
I'm not as big as some of my other friends who love horror, but like I appreciate like scary movies. Like I love The Conjuring. So
I was gonna say, what are some of like your go-to scary movies that have like made an impression on you?
definitely The Conjuring. I feel like that's my favorite like current franchise. I loved I love The Exorcist. That one like really that's like a terrifying movie. Rosemary's Baby and The Shining. Oh, and then It, but like the
Hmm.
90s It with
Okay, with Tim
Tim
Curry.
Curry.
Yeah.
That one scared me, but then as I got older, like I learned to appreciate it and it was like entertainment for me. Like even though like I don't know, it has a lot of criticisms, but I just feel like that original design of him,
Hmm.
Tim Curry's It, is like way more terrifying than the newer.
You've got some bona fide shouts out there with Rosemary's Baby is just like
That
remarkably
movie was
terrifying.
crazy. Yeah.
Way scarier than like the idea of like some monster, like a Michael Myers. Just like how grounded Rosemary's Baby is frightening in and of itself. Yeah.
Yes.
So switching back to Daredevil a little bit, I mean, obviously, I know you've followed the series through Netflix and in Disney like I did. Um, how do you think Disney's done so far at taking the property from Netflix and transitioning it to their platform? Do you think that they've gotten everything tonally right so far, or have there been some challenges? Like, how do you think the transition's been from Netflix to Disney so far, 2 seasons in?
I think the people behind Born Again are doing the best they can with what Disney's allowing them
Hmm.
to do. I think, how do I say this? I feel like I always knew when they brought back Daredevil, I knew they were never ever going to recreate what Netflix did. That's just like something we all have to accept, something that I had to accept. I was like, ooh, like, they're getting it back. Like Daredevil's back home with Marvel slash Disney, which I hate saying slash Disney, but
Hmm.
that's like what the truth is. I think they're doing their best. I think I especially like with what they did with season two, honoring the original show. I think they, because of the creative overhaul in season one, they weren't. I don't think the continuity was there, and I don't think like the connecting of the two shows were there. But I think season two, they made up for a lot of the mistakes they made in season one. So I think they're doing their best. I often describe being a Daredevil fan these days as being like a spoiled brat because save Daredevil, the fans rallied, we signed the petition, we basically harassed Kevin Feige to bring back the original cast and bring back Daredevil. And now that we have it back, we're so like critical of it, which I think like rightfully, as a fan. But I often feel like a brat saying that because I'm like, well, season two is good, but you can obviously tell that they're trying their best. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was really nervous when I had heard that they were taking it over because I was like, there's no way Disney's gonna do what Netflix did and give it the allow it to have the mature content that's necessary to let that character like fully be explored. And season one, as you pointed out, was a little bit clunky, and there was obviously a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I think I agree. Season two, I think, felt cohesive, start to finish. It felt very serious, very grounded, very. I was harkening back to the Netflix series more than I was anticipating in a really positive way, and so obviously we see some characters return at certain points. So yeah, I'm kind of with you that I was a little bit apprehensive about Disney taking it over. And you know sure, they talked a good game. They're like, yeah, we're gonna let this thing be mature content, R-rated, whatever. But it's like, are you really Disney? And they actually did, so I'll give them credit for that.
Yeah. And it's not even like, I feel like we get misconstrued with like the violence of the original show making it special. Like, it really wasn't the violence that made it special. Because, like, violence can be very meaningless, but I think the violence that in the original show sounds weird, but like had meaning. It wasn't just like for shock value. But like I feel like maybe in the new show they kind of were thinking that, oh, like the fans want the violence. Like, no, we don't want the violence. Like, we want like the like, complex dialogue and like stories and like conflict with Matt. And that's what we want. And I think somewhat it got a little misconstrued, but like I said, I don't think it's the team behind Born Again. I do think Disney has like the final say, but I don't know, who knows. So
Yeah, so I mean, it sounds like we both kind of went into season 2 optimistic, maybe a little skeptical still, kind of on the backs of season 1. Now that we've seen all of season 2, it's entirely behind us. Did it meet your expectations? Did it exceed your expectations? How did you take in the totality of Born Again season 2?
I think I think it satisfied me. I think it hit a bunch of beats that we didn't get to see where we left off in season 3 of the original show. Like they really teased Bullseye at the end of season 3, but he didn't really get his like Bullseye moment until season 2. So I was very satisfied with that aspect. I also I was pretty I mean, what can I say? Like I feel like we're so used to Wilson Fisk, where I'm almost like kind of ready for a new villain to be the focus. So I like the approach they took with like the AVTF and him being mayor. I thought that was interesting. Um, like I think there's like aspects of season 2 that really satisfied me, but then there's other aspects that I was kind of like, okay, I don't know what the like thought process was behind these decisions. Like Foggy, you know, getting killed. So like that felt like shock value, which like I get, they had to the way Dario Scartapane said they needed to give Matt a reason, but I don't know if I agree with Foggy being used as like a plot device for Matt's struggle, you know. So, but overall like with season 2, I give it like a 7 out of 10. It was definitely way more satisfying than the first season, and I think like I said before, like they definitely redeemed themselves with the mistakes that they made in season 1 by not like really honoring the previous show.
Yeah, it's like I'm kind of right at the same spot, 7 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10. I think of the 8 episodes, there's only one or maybe two of them I would even consider like relatively filler. I felt like the majority of them use their runtime in the proper way to like give us an expansive story. I could nitpick a couple of spots here and there, but by and large, I was very happy with what we got in those 8 episodes. Do you have a specific favorite episode or maybe a couple of favorite moments from certain episodes that really stood out to you where you're like, this is what I want out of my Daredevil?
I think hands down, episode 4, Gloves Off, is my favorite. Not because I'm biased to Bullseye, but it really is a great episode because it had elements of Netflix that I really missed. Like, I don't like in your face action. I really like subtle action with the characters. Like, I like when we see, like, for example, I like when we see, like, Matt having to fight in his lawyer clothes, or I'm intrigued by the idea of Bullseye just having, like, a normal day, but then taking something random and, like, using it as a weapon. So, like, my favorite, I love the diner scene. Like, obviously, that is just hands down, like, one of the best scenes of the whole season. But one of my favorite scenes is the part where Matt follows Dex into his apartment, and then they have a fight in Dex's apartment, and Dex uses the CD player or like the CD and like frisbees it to Daredevil. Like I feel like that was so clever, and I wanted more of that. Like I feel like we got like a glimpse of what we could have had more of, like if they really were to try to like just honor the original show a little bit more in that sense. Like it felt more real. Like a lot of Born Again season 2 felt like I was reading just like a cool comic panel repetitively, which
Mm.
like obviously it's based off of a comic book, but I just mean like shifting it between knowing that it's based off of a comic book but also like translating it to reality. Yeah, I forgot what the question was. It was like my favorite scene. I would say like that scene in episode 4, like episode 4 as a whole, just because of the whole Bullseye symbolism and the diner scene, which I feel like everybody is still talking about to this day. So yeah. Another episode that I loved was I think it was the next episode where it was the flashback with Foggy.
Yep.
Never has it been more obvious to me that like what Born Again is missing is Foggy Nelson. And even though he died by the hands of my favorite villain, I still am like, I think that was the really bad decision, because seeing Eldon Henson as Foggy again on screen like felt so good. Like it felt like, not even just because they completely mimicked the Netflix like cinematography, like the coloring, like the whole vibe, but like because of the dynamic between Matt and Foggy, it was just like, this is what the show is missing. And like, you can't really make us accept new characters and like accept these new relationships knowing when like you built so many years, like built the relationship over so many years between Matt and Foggy. And yeah, that episode, I think they did a great job with like honoring Foggy and also blending the original show and Born Again into like, you know, canon in the MCU.
Yeah, I would totally agree with you on Gloves Off is for me the standout episode, and I was maybe a day or two late to get to that one, and so by the time I got to it, the internet was already buzzing about the diner scene, and so I'd like already had some awareness of like something exciting was going to happen. It did not disappoint. It actually exceeded whatever I was hearing online. I was like, okay, yes, this is wonderful. Bullseye's being used in a really excellent way. There's the big
Yes.
Wilson Fisk boxing match in that episode, which is very prominent in the story and what happens with his wife. And there's a lot of dynamics to play. And to your point, that next episode, Grand Design, it almost feels like those two episodes are one long episode. Like there's one thing happening over the course of those two episodes. I would very much agree with you. And my note on episode 5 is just, I need more Foggy. Like
Yes.
we're desperately missing him from this Disney Plus version, and
Yes.
it's unfortunate because he and Karen and Matt have such a great chemistry, the three actors, and it's just, I don't know, it's really disheartening that he's not there and not being allowed to like have that opportunity. And that's like my one big critique of where they're at right now, I guess.
I totally agree. It feels like a huge, like, gaping hole in the
Hmm.
show without Foggy. Like, not even to be dramatic, like, he really is just such a great character. And I feel like in the original series, he had such a great arc. Like, how we met him in season 1, just kind of goofy, like, really trying to do his best, not as confident as we see him in season 3. Like, he's, you know, running for district attorney. Like, I don't know. I miss Foggy Nelson. I
The
really
world,
do.
we all mourn for Foggy at this point because,
Seriously.
gosh, yeah, just such a compelling character. There's a lot of depth to him, and yeah, that dynamic is just hard to replicate. And I think they're gonna have a hard time moving forward trying to introduce us to new characters that we're gonna feel that connective tissue the way we do Karen and Foggy
Yeah.
and Matt. So we'll see. I mean, they've got time, but
Yeah.
you had mentioned Fisk as well, and I think that's a really interesting point too. Is like over the course of all of the Daredevil we've gotten now over Netflix and Disney, Fisk has always been front and center. Obviously, Vincent D'Onofrio is just a legend, and he's
Yeah.
commands the screen. Were you happy with the evolution of his character arc throughout Born Again season 2? Like, did you find it to be satisfying for what you were wanting?
Yes. I think it was a good. I thought it was clever, or, I mean, it made sense to me that, you know, he was running for mayor, then he becomes mayor, and then obviously the only thing I felt kind of weird was like him knowing Matt's identity, like going through that. I felt like we were, and not in a bad way, just like, oh my gosh, like he knows his identity. We're walking eggshells like with Matt, like throughout the whole series. But I really liked his arc. I like that we got some of his like childlike behavior as well. Like I feel like I often think of Fisk as like a big child because of like his trauma as a kid. So I like that we got to see more of those wounds that we were introduced to in the original show. One of my favorite episodes from the original show is his like backstory. I think it was episode 8 in season 1. So I liked his arc. I'm not mad about it. I have no complaints about it. I think he's an awesome villain, and he's Kingpin, you know? Like you can't, he's Kingpin, like period. I will say I was particularly very impressed with Vanessa Fisk's um, arc. Like I love her downfall. I love that she started out as this like art seller, just this normal woman, you know, like obviously she seemed like a very thought-provoking woman. And then once she gets tied into Fisk's like crime world, she like, it's shocking to see her like willingly participate. So I loved seeing her kind of become like Queen Pin.
Mhm.
I thought that was really badass. Like I think she's honestly one of my favorite characters of the whole show just because of her arc. And I love seeing how she's evolved as well. So like now, like talking about Wilson Fisk, like I can't talk about him without talking about Vanessa. So, but then obviously she dies too.
Right.
So I liked what they did. The Fisk, yeah.
They
If I had to
the
choose a favorite crime family.
they delayed her inevitable fate a little bit to where I kept thinking, like, I was like, are they writing her off? Are they killing her character? Is she hanging on? Because there was like 2 or 3 episodes where she was sort of on the precipice of dying, and I was like, I'm not quite sure if they're going all the way or not. And sure enough, they did.
Yes.
Which I appreciate that they were willing to, like, make a decision on a character, even though I was really, like you, I was finding her to have a really compelling arc, though I obviously it sets off a chain reaction for Wilson. And then I think the final episode really does a great job of allowing D'Onofrio to showcase his acting chops. I mean, when he's on the stand with Murdoch, and then he sort of has like his Jack Nicholson, A
Yes.
Few Good Men moment.
Oh my gosh, I was just about to say that. It when I was watching it, I thought of that scene. I was like, this is his "you can't handle the truth" moment.
I thought it
So
was
I'm
just
glad you
me.
brought that
Okay,
up. No, definitely not. I wonder if he took inspiration from that. Now I'm like, huh,
has to be,
yeah, I
right?
yeah, right? Because it's so obvious. Like, yeah, I love that movie. It's another good movie.
I was like, he's channeling Jack. Like, it has to be. That's what's happening here,
Yes.
and then obviously there's, for me, the coolest shot of the entire show was at the end of that finale when Matt and Fisk are sort of at the top of the staircase with everyone below them, and they're both sort of kneeling down, and Fisk has sort of resigned himself to, like, this is it for now. It's just a great wide shot of like this courthouse space, and it's all white. The color was really, it just really popped. I just thought, like, wow, what a cool visual to kind of end the season on. Relatively, there's a
Yeah.
couple of scenes after that, but I just thought that they did a nice job of bringing it home. I always say, if you can stick the landing, you've done a good job, and I think they nailed the finale, for me at least.
Yeah, I agree. I also love that they still incorporated like Rabbit in a Snowstorm, that painting. I almost feel like now that you mention it, the finale, I feel like he like kind of like morphs into that painting in a way, especially with like all the blood on him. He also morphs into the blood stain from season 3 that was like done by Dex. Like it's just all like an interwoven, connected, grand design. So yeah, I think it was good. Yeah.
You can tell that Charlie and Vincent have a lot of investment in these characters, and have, like, done their due diligence behind the scenes to make sure they protect their characters, and it feels very intentional for them to be involved behind the scenes, which I think has allowed for some continuity all the way back to the Netflix days, where it does feel like there's something connecting it all. So I appreciate that Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio, like, really have an investment in who they are in this world.
Me too. I'm glad they gave pushback in season
Hmm.
1. So, because I don't know how it works behind the scenes, but like a whole creative overhaul after you've already filmed a few episodes, like that can't be good news. Like it's probably really stressful. But yeah, that's another reason why the show has always stuck with me because I feel like the actors, I've met them, some of them at conventions before, and they're on the surface like very genuine, nice people. So I like to believe that, that they're like that behind the scenes, and because they care about the characters so much, that kind of coincides with like caring about the fan base. So I appreciate Charlie and Vincent's passion for the characters. Like it's almost the same, if not the same, as how like what we feel for the characters. So it's like it's nice to know that the characters are in good hands, the show's in good hands, and they're just very grounded people. Like I feel like a theme of the Daredevil is just grounded. Like it's not like big level stuff like Doomsday, but like it's street level, and I think that's sometimes more like more effective for little guys.
Yeah, and I feel really invested in these human beings because, like you, I have seen Charlie and others at fan conventions, and there's just like an authenticity to them. Like they don't feel like larger than life people. They feel like somebody you could go up to and have a conversation with. I haven't had the chance to meet any of them, but I've seen them like interact with people at panels and things like that. Charlie Cox especially just seems like a really, really humble, earnest guy. He's taken his lumps in Hollywood from the Stardust days when he thought he was
Oh,
going to be
yeah.
a megastar, and I
Yeah.
love Stardust to this day. But
Me too. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
such an underrated fantasy film. Like it's like The Princess Bride. It's like it should be considered like that.
Has everything.
Yeah.
Like it literally has fairy tale, like you know, fairy like, everything. Like it's like the perfect fantasy movie. I love Stardust.
It's so good, and it feels like the people who know about it like we're this like wonderful little small niche pocket because like if you know Stardust, you know your stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, now we also have to talk about some other characters that have found their way into Born Again season 2. We got the Defenders back into the world of Marvel now. We've got Jessica Jones and Cage back in the fold. Did you feel like they did a good job of weaving these characters in? Did it feel a little rushed and clunky? Like, are you happy with kind of how they've started to integrate some of these characters?
Yes, I am happy. The only thing that I'm unhappy with is Disney's like marketing team. I felt like they revealed a lot of spoilery stuff before the episode would drop. So they did that with like Bullseye's episode. They dropped the entire diner scene before the episode. But back to the Defenders, I kind of wished Jessica Jones was a bit more of a surprise. We saw the set photos, so it's like we knew she was coming back, but I wanted that anticipation. Like I wanted like the little Easter eggs. Like, oh my gosh, is Jessica coming back? Like, is she here? I Yeah, like I said, I think they're doing the best they can with what Disney's allowing them to do. I'm just happy Jessica is back. Like, if I wasn't so loyal to Daredevil, Jessica Jones definitely is like my favorite of the Defenders shows, just because like it's so well written and it's such a different approach to crime. Like, it's like more intimate because she's like a private investigator. Oh my gosh, I love Jessica Jones. Um, but yeah, I'm happy with how she came back. I'm happy she is back, and I love that her and Luke decided to obviously like the comics, but like, have a family. Like when she mentioned Danielle, I was like, okay, well that clearly means Luke is in the picture. So Luke, I actually think Luke's cameo was more mind blowing
Mm-hmm.
than Jessica's, just because like, wow, they really are bringing back like all the Defenders. So it's cool to see him like walk through the shadows back from whatever he was doing for Mr. Charles. So
It's probably too much for any of us to hope we're going to get a Jessica Jones like standalone series. Because
yeah,
I'm with you. For me, as much as I love the seasons of Daredevil, I think Jessica Jones season 1 is about as good as it can possibly get in terms of like superhero television. The David Tennant character in that season is one of the great villains for me. He's
yes,
so fantastic.
so good, so creepy, and like so
Yeah.
simplistic in his
Mhm.
creepiness, and like how simple he is with his powers. Like I'll never forget. And when they're in the 15th precinct and he has like everybody having their guns at each other, oh my gosh, I gotta rewatch Jessica Jones. But also season 3 of Jessica Jones was like, and another character downfall that I love is Trish Walker. Like her downfall, another one that I just love. Yeah.
I yeah, I loved I'm with you though on I think probably 2 or 3 weeks before she arrived, I feel like I saw a picture of Jessica and they were like, "Oh, the Defenders are back in the show." And I'm like, it would have been so much cooler if I had just like seen that with my own eyes. Sometimes the
Yeah.
marketing teams these days will just like do anything they can. The Thunderbolts thing last year where they revealed the
Yeah.
new Avengers, like come on, like let people like discover this for themselves.
Yeah, like it used to be so different back then with all the Marvel movies with like the surprises. Now it's like, I don't know, they're like soft launching, just like not caring about spoilers. I feel like I just saw the Russos say something about Doomsday with spoilers. I can't remember what it was, but it was along the lines of like, well, it happens. So I guess nothing's sacred anymore. I don't know.
It is not. It is not in this world of internet and social media. And yeah, yeah, it's challenging. So now we're at the point where we know the characters' fates at the end of season 2, and we can have a pretty good idea of where they're going to go in season 3. What are your expectation levels for what you think we're going to get with a new season? And do you think it's in a position to surpass what we've gotten so far in seasons 1 and 2? Are you feeling like we're in a good space for what's to come?
I hope they bring it for season 3 because I feel like season 1 and 2 kind of go together. Like it's like a part 1 and part 2, not really like a season 1, season 2, because the story from season 1 still trickles into season 2, and typically it's like supposed to be like a beginning and end with each season. So, and I understand why they did that because of the creative overhaul. So they're making up for their mistakes that the previous team made. So I can be lenient about that. But now that, everything's in, seems like to be in their own little box with a tidy bow, I'm ready for season 3 to like bring it. You know what I mean? Like, I want it to be season 3 of the original show, part 2, but like born again version, Disney version, Disney version. So I have expectations of, I hope now that they have a clearer vision for what they want for the show, I hope it'll feel more cohesive and more like a beginning and end. As for the characters, obviously we know Matt is in jail. So I'm very curious to see. I feel like it makes sense with his ending. He got away with it in the original show. I feel like there was no way he was not going to end up in jail, no matter how you feel about this season finale. Like, I think it makes a lot of sense that he reveals his identity and then gets sent to prison, and then Fisk is, I don't know, living his life on a beach somewhere, which I don't love that ending as well, but I can accept it. But now that they, have like a clear vision for everybody, I'm hoping season 3 just is like, I hope it feels even more grounded and more like I want like a darker story. Like, it was pretty dark season 2, but like I really want, like, I don't know. I want them to bring me something like that I'm not expecting.
I think they could up the stakes a little bit maybe, and still keep it street level like you had mentioned, but I do think they could put a little more weight into the fates of some of these people potentially. I totally agree with you that I think Matt's in the right spot right now where it makes sense for him. The Fisk moment also did kind of throw me for a second there. I was like, I don't know if I needed that, him staring, into the distance of this
Yeah.
ocean or whatever. I was like, I could probably do without that. That's a minor nitpick, but I definitely think they did a nice job with the Matt Murdock arc, and I like the way that scene played out where the cops come to find him and he's, out to dinner and everything. I
Yes.
thought that was like a really well done final scene for him in the season. So ultimately, I'm pretty happy with kind of where the chess pieces are going into the next season. But I'm with you. I would
Yes.
like to challenge that creative team to like push themselves. Don't be afraid to go out and be a little bolder, be a little more daring. Go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like everybody has so many expectations. It's like, give us something that we're not even expecting, but like that will satisfy. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure what they could do, but I think I'm intrigued by season 3, especially with like the defenders coming back. So that'll feel good to see them on screen. Like, reveal that Foggy's alive. Like, what are we afraid of? Like, they keep teasing that storyline, but I don't know. I feel like I'm one of the people who has accepted Foggy is dead, but there's still a little bit of hope in me. That's like, maybe he'll rip the rug under us. So we'll see.
I'm with you. I have like tried to accept his fate, but I am just like, I mean, we Marvel has had a history of bringing characters back. It's not the end of the world, and
Yeah.
like give the people what they want sometimes in that setting. And I think the fans really miss Foggy, and I think you could add a lot to the stakes of the show by bringing his character back, and there's a lot of components there for sure.
Yeah.
Now, on the heels of Born Again season 2 finishing, Disney decided to also drop this little TV special for the Punisher. And so we've got the Punisher One Last Kill, which was like a 45-minute ish sort of TV movie slash episode, kind of a standalone thing. Now I know you went to see the premiere of it, I believe at a movie theater, correct?
Yes, it was at AMC Lincoln Square.
Okay, and you even got to see the man himself, John Bernthal, who was in attendance for this premiere, which is pretty freaking exciting.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was
Did you know he was
crazy.
going to be
That
there?
I didn't know, but I was hoping that he was going to be there because I'm like, okay, well, it's like the Marvel screening. Like, you never know who could make an appearance. And then my friend, shout out Trista, she was like, oh my gosh, he's downstairs. And I was like, ah. So it was cool because he watched the presentation with us in the theater, like him, and he had like all of his family and friends, and like some people in the cast were there. Yeah, it was a very cool, surreal experience. It was like my first time doing something like that. So yeah, it was really awesome. It was cool. And
What
he
was
took his time to say hi to everybody.
he's? I mean, he seems like speaking of Charlie Cox, he seems like the same type of genuine guy who just seems like a regular person who also just happens to be a celebrity movie star, if you will. Like he just seems
Yeah,
pretty laid
he's
back.
definitely, yes, like he's totally down to earth. That was like my third time meeting him, but first time outside of a convention. And both experiences, like he's honestly the same. Like the aura that he gives off is like completely unlike any other actor that I've met
Hmm.
in real life. Like he just has like such a cool, very chill, relaxed, like really grounded, like down to earth personality. Like so nice, so nice.
Yet he can so easily sort of flip the switch into the intensity that one requires to play Frank Castle, such an intense, brooding
Yeah.
role. What was the vibe like, first off, to like see that special in a room full of crazies who were all there for like that same experience?
It was a very cool, it was a very calm, collected vibe. I have to be honest. Like I was freaking out inside because it's like John was giving like a speech up at the front and he was just like talking about the special and like giving his thanks to the people behind it. But like I love that he did that because like I said, very grounded. Like it's, people who really care about the characters, and something that's has stuck with me since he said it. He said that Frank Castle belongs to us, the fans. So like he really put his heart and soul into writing it and producing it with the people that he, produced with. And that's why I appreciated it as a whole project and just like appreciate him like playing Frank Castle just because I know he cares. Like he's not just doing it because he's like a iconic Marvel character. Like he actually like is, it's like source material. He's like doing his research, his studies, and he's like genuinely he believes that what he put out is what the fans want. And I personally I enjoyed this special presentation. I thought it was the action was like so impressive, and I honestly was like way more blown away by it than Daredevil Born Again. Like I have to be
Hmm.
honest. Like but that's not to say I don't love the action in Daredevil Born Again, but like this one felt like it was like cinematic. It was like very like I was floored watching it, especially on like the big screen. That
Mm-hmm.
that probably helped in the experience, but yeah, I loved it. It was good.
Yeah, I had a really good. I don't know if it would translate. I don't know if it translated as well to television in terms of like the scope and the size, but I think Bernthal, of course, captures the intensity of the character. The torment of the past played a role in the little TV special as well. I thought the idea of setting the bounty on his head through Manucci was a clever idea that
Yeah.
led into the huge fight throughout the city. I thought the way he avenged that homeless person who had the
Yeah.
incident with the dog. I think like all the pieces connected for me. He of the three different people who have played the Punisher now on screen, he is by far my favorite. I think he gets the tone of the Punisher the most right. And yeah, I'm with you. I'm eager to see. We've seen him in the Brand New Day trailer, so we know Frank
Yeah.
Castle will be crossing into the MCU world with Spider-Man very, very soon.
Which
Do
is
you have
very big. It's a
yeah?
big deal.
What do you think is going to happen? Like, do you have any expectation for how he's going to come into play with Peter Parker?
I have no idea. I have a feeling they're probably going to set it up in a way where like they've always known each other. So it's just kind of one of those we have to accept it, which I'm okay with because like, they don't have to like introduce each other. Like we know the characters. Like we can assume that they know each other in that world. Maybe maybe Frank sees Spidey doing some crazy stuff and he's like, I gotta intervene. I don't know, but I'm excited. It's gonna be cool to see the Punisher and Spider-Man interact with each other. I'm very excited. I'm so excited for Spider-Man. Like, I'm ready. I'm
Now,
more excited for Spider-Man than Doomsday.
oh, by far, me too, 100%.
Yeah, yeah.
You had mentioned your dad got you into the Raimi trilogy and everything. I won't put you on the spot and ask you to like rank all the Spider-Men or anything like that, but like
I
who's
will.
oh okay, go for it. How do you rank all of them? Do you have a favorite or
Well, now I'm like, okay, wait. I personally, I love Toby. Like, I really do. I love Toby's Peter Parker. He's so like soft spoken and like just so kind hearted. On the same level, I love Tom Holland like as Spider-Man. Like I feel like he also is another one who really cares about what he's doing with Spider-Man. I want to say like personally my favorite is Toby, but like the real general consensus, like I feel like Tom really is like a great Spider-Man Peter Parker. So I feel like if I had to rank it, I don't know. This is tough now. I'm gonna go with what my heart says. I'm gonna say Toby, Tom, and then Andrew. I'm just gonna go with that. Just
it's
because
yeah.
Toby wins for the nostalgia factor. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, but like he also like those movies are so good. But that doesn't mean Tom is any less though. Like he also is just as good, just like in his own way. And I'm sure in like 50 years, people are going to be ranking like 7 different Spider-Men, and then like Tom's going to be at the top because of nostalgia. So we'll see. But
I'm with you though. Like Toby's my guy, just from my
yeah,
age, and I do feel bad for Andrew because I think he's the
it's not
best.
his fault.
No, he's such a great actor. He's probably the best actor of the three who have played him. He just got
Hmm.
hamstrung with the worst material, unfortunately.
Yeah, like oh my god, Sony. Oh my goodness,
It's a mess.
I've
Those are a
had
mess.
beef with them. Yeah, but he's not a bad Spider-Man by any
No,
means. He's just
no.
not. It's based on like story.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
And then I mean, you could also throw in, obviously we're not talking about Peter Parker, but what the Spider-Verse movies have done for Miles is so cool. Like my kids, I've got kids who are 8 and 6. To them, Miles is much more culturally important than Peter Parker, which is kind of a cool
Yeah.
like exchange of the young generations embracing Miles much more, which I think is a lot of fun. I'm eager to
Yeah.
see if they ever do a live action Miles. We've had fan casting for years and years.
Yeah, I have no doubts. I like that Into the Spider-Verse is like opening up Spider-Man like to newer generations. So, yeah, I agree. I like it. I'm also excited for Spider Noir.
Yeah. Yes.
That is like the craziest like side quest project for Spider-Man. Like I love that. I'm into it. I like Nick Cage, so I'll be watching that. I think
He's
it comes out
perfect.
this week, right?
Yeah, in like the next, maybe to tomorrow or next couple of days, I
Yeah,
think. Yeah.
very soon. Yeah.
It
So,
almost feels too weird not to work. Like,
yes.
like it's so different that, though, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think they're giving people the option they can either watch it in black and white or watch it in color. To which I
They
say,
should
why
do
would
black
you?
and white.
Yeah, like why would you want to
Like,
watch it in color?
yeah, I agree. Like, we need to bring back classics. And I think we need to bring back, like, experiencing media the way it's, like, intended. Like, if it's
Hmm.
meant to be in black and white, you should watch it in black and white. Like, color, save color for, Pixar and, like, Marvel Cinematic Movie. Like, watch this in black and white. Experience it the way it was intended. But whatever, to each his own.
I'm with you. I'm hopeful that Spider Noir is going to be just like this totally kind of bonkers, out on its own thing, and it can just stand alone and be its own little world. And I'm very excited for the idea of that. because I think it's got potential to, even though this show gets kind of crapped on by people, still a big fan of Moon Knight just because it's like its own self-contained little story, and I really liked the idea that it could do its own thing and be a little different and be tonally outside of what everything else is in the Marvel cookie cutter universe. So I'm hoping Spider Noir is kind of the same thing.
You know, it's crazy. I didn't watch Moon Knight.
Whoa.
Isn't that crazy? I
You should
know.
definitely check it out.
I know, it's on my list. I love Oscar Isaac, so
Yeah.
I should
He's
watch
so
it.
good. He's so good in it. Yeah.
And Ethan Hawke is in it too, right? I love
Yep.
him too. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what
No
I'm waiting
excuses.
for. Might as well. Yeah, no excuses.
All right, I'm going to take you out of here with one more question, Sam. I appreciate you taking the time to do this with me. So, obviously, we have circled around a little bit the idea that Doomsday is coming end of year. That's sort of Marvel's desperate that Doomsday is going to be the thing that kind of really sparks to life this next phase. They've got a lot of eggs in this basket. How confident are you that this will be the thing that Marvel's hoping, that the Russo brothers are hoping? Are you excited about it? Are you a little bit nervous about it? Where do you stand on Doomsday? What, 6 months out?
I have zero expectations. Obviously, I will be sat in that theater because it's an Avengers movie and it's a Russo brothers movie, but like I don't know what. I feel like they've been losing the sauce a little bit. They've been losing the plot. Like the reason why we love these characters is because of the relationships that they've built over the years with like their standalone movies. Obviously, their newer formula has not been working, and I could go on and on about all the newer movies that they put out, even like Fantastic Four that I have my opinions about. I just like I'm not emotionally invested like I was before, and like I think it has to do with the quality. Like I think they're just like I don't know if they just got too confident or they just want to put out as much as they can to catch up with the timeline, but like they need to like bring us they need to come back down to earth, and they need to be a little bit more grounded. They should take some notes from Daredevil and like just remember why we love these characters. So I think it's cool that the X-Men will be back. I think it's time. Okay, here's my this is my opinion. Like Avengers are over, okay? We're done. It's the age of the X-Men. Like we need to invest in the X-Men. We need a big like Avengers level movie but the X-Men. Like we need an X-Men movie. Why are the X-Men in an Avengers movie? Like I get it, but I don't know. Listen, the Russos have handled many characters before. Endgame was amazing. Infinity War is amazing. I have no doubts that they'll be able to like balance all the new characters. But like I'm curious to see how they're gonna make us like give a shit about the characters that we're gonna see in Doomsday, for lack of a better phrase. Like, I don't know. They also need to prove themselves too. Like I feel like this was like a very much like stern year for Daredevil, stern last 2 years for Daredevil, and like just Marvel in general. Like they just need to like go back to formula. To quote Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, back to formula, okay? Like go back to formula, remind us why we love these characters, and just give us like a good story. Like don't care about the numbers. Like you don't have to beat Avatar all the time, Like just we'll be sat. You already have like whether we want to be sat in the theater or not, like we will be there because it's an Avengers movie. But like I have zero expectations. I'm more I'm just gonna see what they give us and then I'll give my thoughts after. That's where I'm at with Doomsday. I love and then obviously Robert Downey Jr. Like okay, cool. But like just because he's in it doesn't mean I'm gonna be like blowing up like a storm about it. Like I need to see a trailer and then I need to see the movie and then that's that. We'll see if it's Samantha approved. I don't know.
Well, if you want Samantha, I will let you come back at the end of the year. I'm going to be doing some sort of Doomsday special once that movie comes out. So if you want to come back and unpack your Doomsday thoughts, you have an open invite to come back on. Because I'm with you. I have very little expectation. Not that I'm like thinking it's going to be bad. It's so far down the road, and we've gotten so little like actual substantive stuff. Like we don't.
There's
really
no story.
We know Downey's in it. But we know so little about it. So Um, I don't know. It feels like a desperation move, bringing the Russos back, bringing Downey back, trying to go back when, to your point, they've got the X-Men now. Push forward. I'm such a huge X-Men proponent, and there's so
Yeah.
many characters that you could dive into the world of and use some of the ones that the culture and the world kind of knows and then branch out from there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That could be their that should have
yeah,
been their MCU 2.0 X-Men.
yes.
Like they should have taken a long break. Maybe like 5 years, the same in like Endgame, you know? Like take a break from the movies, put out the shows, you know, WandaVision, Winter Falcon, Winter Soldier, then obviously Daredevil. But like start anew with X-Men. I don't know.
I'm with you. I am
Like
with
I love
you.
Marvel, you know? So, yeah.
I don't know about you. I'm sort of weird with the most recent phase post Endgame where I feel like a lot of the ones that people didn't like, I was a fan of. Like I appreciated some of the lengths that Shang-Chi took to like differentiate itself from everything else out there. And but again, nobody else ever talks about Shang-Chi, and I'm like, I had a really good time with that. I thought there were some creative elements to that one. So I don't know. What do I
Yeah.
know?
You know. Yeah, I saw Shang-Chi like once, but I liked it. I also enjoyed. Hmm. I like Thunderbolts.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I was so disappointed with Brave New World.
Ooh, yeah.
That was
That was a
so
rough one.
that. Oh my god, yeah, so bad. And they had such great potential too.
Hmm.
Anyway, I could
All right.
literally talk about this like all night.
Well, and speaking of Raimi, I will forever stan Multiverse of Madness, even though I know that movie has a lot of detractors out there. But
I liked it.
It's a Sam Raimi movie. Like it's a weird kind of horror movie centered around Wanda and her
Yeah,
grief, and I'm like, I'm kind of vibing with this thing.
yeah. There's some good scenes in that
Yeah,
movie. Yeah.
it's got some messy stuff with the whole, what they do with all the cameos, and again, they were sort of going for
Yes.
didn't all connect.
But it was fun.
Yeah, it was a good time at the movies. That's kind of
It
what
was
it
a good
ended up being.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Sam, I appreciate you taking an hour with me and hanging out. Like I said, you're welcome back if you want to talk Doomsday here at the end of 2026. Why don't you do
I
me a
would love
favor,
to.
though? Why don't you let anyone who's listening, watching right now, let people know where they can find you on the socials, where they can support whatever you're doing out there?
Okay. Well, you can find me on Instagram at Samantha etc. It's spelled out ETCETERA. Twitter, Samantha ETC _. And why not on Letterboxd too? Samantha ETC. Let's be friends on Letterboxd. And TikTok is still on your left, Sam. So you can find me on those platforms, everybody.
And I just discovered yesterday you have a Substack as well.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So I have a Substack. It's Samantha etc. It's also linked in my Instagram. I think the reason why I didn't plug that is because I'm still waiting to officially launch it. But it is coming. So subscribe now. And if you want to, it's basically just going to be about kind of, my experience being a quote fangirl. It's going to be about like pop culture, Marvel, life in general, some poetry, and yeah, just everything, personal essays, basically that. So, yeah.
Awesome. I'll have all the links for everything in the show notes so people can check out all your work and support you. You
Thank
do
you.
incredible cosplay work as well. Just really impressed with
Oh,
all.
thanks.
We haven't even talked about that, but like the time and effort it must take to make the costumes and the makeup and the hair, everything you do looks like it's very, very meticulous. I'm very impressed with your skills in that aspect.
Thank you. It's fun. It's definitely like shifting into another character, but yeah, it's fun. I love it. It's a good time. I'm taking a little bit of a break right now, but it's a good time, especially when it's like convention season. It's always
Mm-hmm.
good putting on the suits. Bullseye's my main, so
Awesome. Well, that will do it for us for season 2, Born Again, Daredevil. Let me know what you think of the season. You can email the show, you can DM me, however you want to find me. Again, appreciate Sam coming on the show. Make sure you follow, support her. And unlike Daredevil, I will see you next time.
thank you.